The morning sun slowly climbed over the hills surrounding the small village of Bethany Ridge. Birds sang softly, yet the streets were unusually quiet. Every home seemed to hide a different kind of pain. One family prayed for healing. Another struggled with hunger. An old widow cried alone every night after losing her only son. A young shepherd blamed himself for an accident that had taken the life of his closest friend. No one knew each other's hidden battles. Everyone smiled during the day. Everyone broke down in the dark. Then, one ordinary morning, a traveler appeared on the dusty road. He wore a simple white robe. His face reflected peace unlike anything the villagers had ever seen. Children stopped playing. The elderly lifted their heads. Even the wind seemed to slow down as he walked through the village. No one recognized him at first, but something about his presence made broken hearts feel safe. An elderly woman whispered, "Asterisk, there is something different about this man." Asterisk. The traveler smiled gently. Without asking for food, without asking for money, he simply began helping. He repaired a broken wooden fence for a widow. He carried heavy water jars for an exhausted mother. He shared his bread with hungry children before taking a single bite himself. The villagers were amazed. Who served strangers without expecting anything in return? That evening, while the village gathered around a small fire, people finally asked him, "Asterisk, who are you?" Asterisk. The man looked into their eyes with compassion. Asterisk. "I came to remind the weary that they are not forgotten." Asterisk. Some believed him. Others laughed. One wealthy merchant stepped forward. Asterisk. "If you truly care about people, then why does suffering still exist?" Asterisk. The crowd fell silent. The man answered softly. Asterisk. "Pain is not always removed in a single moment, but no burden has to be carried alone." Asterisk. The merchant scoffed. Asterisk. "Beautiful words cannot feed the hungry." Asterisk. The man smiled. Asterisk. "Then let love become bread." Asterisk. Those words confused everyone. That night, something extraordinary happened. The widow who had suffered unbearable back pain for years woke up feeling stronger than she had in decades. Meanwhile, the mysterious traveler quietly sat alone outside the village. For the first time, he winced in pain. He placed his hand on his own back. The same pain the widow had carried now rested on him. He never complained. He never spoke about it. The next morning, the widow danced with joy through the streets. People celebrated the miracle. No one noticed the traveler walking more slowly than before. No one realized someone else had quietly carried her burden. As the days passed, more miracles followed. The blind began to see hope. The hopeless found courage. The broken found peace. Yet with every miracle, the mysterious traveler grew weaker. Dark circles formed beneath his eyes. His hands trembled from exhaustion. Still, whenever someone cried, he was the first to comfort them. Whenever someone collapsed, he was the first to lift them up. One young boy named Eli watched everything carefully. Unlike the adults, he noticed the pattern. Every time someone became stronger, the traveler became weaker. One evening, Eli secretly followed him beyond the olive trees. There, far away from the village, he saw the traveler kneel alone beneath the stars. His shoulders shook with silent pain. He whispered softly, Asterisk, "Father, if carrying their sorrow gives them hope, let me continue." Asterisk. Eli froze. Tears filled his eyes. For the first time, he understood. The man was not simply healing people. He was carrying their pain himself. But how much suffering could one person bear? Eli knew one thing. If the village discovered the truth, everything would change forever. Night settled over Bethany Ridge. The stars filled the sky, but one home remained awake. A little girl lay on a small wooden bed. Her breathing had become weak. Her mother held her tiny hand. Her father paced the floor. Fear had taken over the house. For weeks, the child had grown weaker. Every doctor had failed. Every remedy had failed. Every prayer seemed to go unanswered. Her father whispered, Asterisk, "God, please don't take my little girl." Asterisk. At sunrise, someone knocked on the door. A neighbor stood outside. His voice trembled. Asterisk. The traveler is still in the village. Asterisk. Asterisk. Some people say he has healed the sick. Asterisk. Without waiting another second, the father lifted his daughter into his arms. He ran through the dusty streets. People stepped aside. His tears spoke louder than his words. Finally, he reached the traveler. Falling to his knees, he cried, "Please, Asterisk, I don't care who you are. Asterisk, asterisk, save my daughter. Asterisk. The traveler looked into the little girl's pale face. Then, he looked into the father's broken heart. He gently placed his hand on the child's forehead. The crowd became silent. Even the wind seemed to stop. After a long moment, the traveler smiled softly. Asterisk, she will live. Asterisk. Nothing happened. 1 second passed. Then another. The crowd began whispering. Some doubted. Some laughed. The wealthy merchant from earlier stepped forward. Asterisk, see? Asterisk. Asterisk. Hope cannot defeat sickness. Asterisk. The traveler said nothing. He simply closed his eyes. His breathing became heavier. A sudden pain rushed through his body. His hands began to shake. His knees almost gave way. Then, the little girl slowly opened her eyes. She took one deep breath. Then another. Color returned to her face. She smiled at her father. Daddy. The man broke down in tears. He hugged his daughter. The entire village erupted with joy. People shouted. People cried. People praised God. But no one noticed. The traveler quietly stepped away. Behind the olive trees, he collapsed to one knee. His breathing became painful. The fever that had nearly taken the little girl's life now burned inside him. Alone, he whispered, may her laughter return. Asterisk, even if it costs my strength. Asterisk. At that very moment, young Eli had followed him again. Hidden behind a tree, he saw everything. He watched the traveler struggle to breathe. He watched him fight through unbearable pain. And yet, not once did he complain. Eli could no longer stay silent. He stepped forward. Asterisk, why? Asterisk. Asterisk. Why would you suffer for people who don't even know what you're doing? Asterisk. The traveler looked at the boy. His tired eyes were filled with peace. Then he answered. Asterisk. Because love is never measured by what it receives. Asterisk. Asterisk. Love is measured by what it is willing to carry. Asterisk. Those words stayed in Eli's heart forever. Meanwhile, back in the village, the merchant watched the celebration with growing anger. People were beginning to trust the mysterious traveler. That meant the merchant was losing his influence. He quietly gathered a few men. Then he whispered, tomorrow, asterisk, we will expose him. Asterisk. Asterisk, no matter what it takes. Asterisk. Far above the village, dark clouds slowly gathered. A greater trial was about to begin. The next morning, the village looked different. People smiled again. Children laughed in the streets. Hope had returned. But one man refused to celebrate. The wealthy merchant. His heart had become harder. With every miracle he witnessed, he gathered a small crowd. Then he pointed toward the traveler. Asterisk, don't be fooled. Asterisk. Asterisk, no ordinary man can do these things. Asterisk. Asterisk, there must be a hidden trick. Asterisk. Some villagers nodded. Others remained silent. Fear began to spread. Just then, an elderly woman slowly stepped forward. Her hands trembled. Tears filled her eyes. There is no trick, she said. Asterisk. I couldn't walk without pain for 10 years. Asterisk. Asterisk, now I can. Asterisk. Another man stepped forward. Asterisk, my son had no hope. Asterisk. Asterisk, now he is alive. Asterisk. The merchant shook his head. Asterisk, then prove it. Asterisk. If this traveler truly carries your burdens. Asterisk, let him carry mine. Asterisk. The crowd became silent. The traveler looked calmly at the merchant. Tell me. Asterisk, what burden do you carry? Asterisk. The merchant laughed. Asterisk, nothing. Asterisk. Asterisk, I am rich. Asterisk. Asterisk, I am healthy. Asterisk. Asterisk, I have everything. Asterisk. The traveler gently replied. Asterisk, no. Asterisk. Asterisk, you carry something far heavier. Asterisk. The smile disappeared from the merchant's face. For a moment, his confidence faded, because deep inside, he knew it was true. Years earlier, his younger brother had drowned in a river. The merchant had been there. He could have saved him. Instead, he chose to save a chest filled with gold. No one knew the truth, not even his own family. For years, he had carried guilt. Every night, he heard his brother's voice. Every morning, he hid behind his wealth. The traveler spoke quietly. Gold can hide many things. Asterisk, but it can never silence a guilty heart. Asterisk. The merchant stepped backward. His hands began to shake. Asterisk, who told you? Asterisk. The traveler answered softly. Your pain did. Asterisk. The crowd looked at the merchant in shock. Tears filled his eyes. For the first time in years, he fell to his knees. I've carried this secret for so long. Asterisk. I don't know how to live with it anymore. Asterisk. The traveler walked toward him. He placed a gentle hand on the man's shoulder. Asterisk. Bring it into the light. Asterisk. Asterisk. Only then can healing begin. Asterisk. The merchant broke down. He confessed everything, not because he was forced, but because truth had finally become stronger than fear. The villagers stood in complete silence. Some cried with him. Others placed their hands on his shoulders. No one condemned him. Instead, they prayed together. For the first time in many years, the merchant felt peace. But as the villagers embraced him, the traveler quietly stepped away. His shoulders became heavier. His breathing slowed. The crushing weight of guilt now rested upon him. Young Eli saw it again. Every burden that disappeared from someone else found its way onto the traveler. Eli whispered to himself, Asterisk. How much more can he carry? Asterisk. Far beyond the village, a stranger watched everything from the top of a rocky hill. His cloak was dark. His face remained hidden. He turned toward the village and said in a cold voice, Tomorrow, asterisk, their faith will be tested. Asterisk, asterisk, and so will his. Asterisk. The wind began to rise. The sky slowly darkened. A storm, unlike anything the village had ever seen, was on its way. The following afternoon, dark clouds covered the sky. The warm sunlight disappeared. A cold wind swept through Bethany Ridge. Birds flew away. Animals became restless. Something was coming. Something powerful. The villagers hurried inside their homes. Doors slammed shut. Windows were locked. Then, the first clap of thunder shook the valley. Within minutes, rain poured from the heavens. The river beside the village began to rise. Faster and faster. A frightened boy ran through the streets. Asterisk, the bridge. Asterisk. Asterisk, the bridge is breaking. Asterisk. Panic spread instantly. That old wooden bridge was the only way out of the village. Families rushed toward it. Parents held their children tightly. The elderly struggled to keep up. Everyone wanted to escape before the flood arrived. But the traveler did not run. He walked calmly through the storm. His robe was soaked by the rain, yet his face remained peaceful. Eli caught up with him. Asterisk, please. Asterisk, he shouted. Asterisk, you have to leave with us. Asterisk. The traveler smiled. Asterisk, not while someone is still behind. Asterisk. Suddenly, a terrified scream echoed through the valley. A little boy had become trapped on the other side of the bridge. His mother cried desperately. Asterisk, my son. Asterisk. Asterisk, someone save my son. Asterisk. No one moved. The bridge was already collapsing. One more step, and it could fall into the raging river. The crowd froze. Fear had stolen their courage. Without saying a word, the traveler stepped onto the bridge. The old wood creaked beneath his feet. The wind grew stronger. The river roared below. Every step could have been his last. The villagers held their breath. Halfway across, a loud crack split the air. One of the bridge ropes snapped. The bridge swung violently. People screamed, Asterisk, come back. Asterisk. But he kept walking. Slowly, calmly, without fear. He reached the frightened boy. The child wrapped his arms around him. I knew you would come, the boy whispered. The traveler smiled. Asterisk, you were never alone. Asterisk. He lifted the boy into his arms. Then, he turned back toward the village. The bridge shook harder than ever. Wood splintered beneath his feet. The river crashed against the rocks below. Just as they reached solid ground, the bridge collapsed into the flood. A deafening silence filled the valley. Then, the villagers burst into tears. The boy's mother fell to her knees. She hugged her son tightly. Over and over she whispered, Asterisk, thank you. Thank you, asterisk. But while everyone celebrated, the traveler quietly stumbled. His legs weakened. He nearly fell. Eli rushed to steady him. The traveler looked exhausted, as though he had carried far more than just a little boy. Eli finally understood. It wasn't only the child. It was the mother's fear, the villagers' panic, their hopelessness, their despair. He had carried all of it. As the rain slowly stopped, a rainbow appeared across the valley. People looked toward the sky. Many began praying together. For the first time, the village was united, not by fear, but by hope. Yet far away, hidden among the trees, the mysterious stranger watched everything. His eyes narrowed. They trust him more each day, he whispered. If fear cannot divide them. Asterisk, then lies will. Asterisk. He turned and disappeared into the darkness. The greatest test had not yet begun. The storm had passed. The river grew quiet once again. The people of Bethany Ridge believed their darkest days were over. But they were wrong. Sometimes, the greatest storms do not come from the sky. They come from the human heart. Early the next morning, the mysterious stranger walked into the village. His cloak covered his face. His voice was calm, too calm. He smiled at the villagers. Then he asked, Asterisk, has anyone wondered why your traveler grows weaker every single day? Asterisk. The crowd looked at one another. No one answered. The stranger continued, Perhaps, asterisk, the miracles come with a price. Asterisk. Asterisk, perhaps he is taking something from you. Asterisk. The words spread through the village like fire. People began whispering. Asterisk, could it be true? Asterisk. Asterisk, what if we've been deceived? Asterisk. Asterisk, what if this power isn't from God? Asterisk. Fear returned, not because of what they had seen, but because of what they had heard. The wealthy merchant stepped forward. This time, he defended the traveler. Asterisk, no. Asterisk. Asterisk, I know what kind of man he is. Asterisk. Asterisk, he gave me peace when I deserved nothing. Asterisk. But many people still doubted. Fear has a strange way of making lies sound believable. The stranger walked toward the traveler. The entire village watched. He smiled. If you truly love these people, asterisk, prove it one last time. Asterisk. He pointed toward an abandoned house. Inside, a man lay unconscious. He had been trapped beneath fallen beams during the storm. His injuries were severe. The village doctor shook his head. Asterisk, he won't survive. Asterisk. The stranger crossed his arms. Asterisk, save him. Asterisk. Asterisk. Or admit that your power has ended. Asterisk. Silence filled the village. The traveler slowly walked into the broken house. He knelt beside the injured man. He gently placed his hand upon him. Then he closed his eyes. The room became completely still. Outside, no one moved. No one spoke. Minutes passed. Then, the injured man's fingers moved. His breathing returned. Slowly, he opened his eyes. His wife burst into tears. She embraced him with overwhelming joy. The entire village celebrated. But when the traveler stood, he staggered. His face had become pale. His hands trembled. He could barely remain standing. Eli rushed to him. Please. Asterisk, you have to stop. Asterisk. Asterisk, you can't carry everyone's pain forever. Asterisk. The traveler looked at the young boy and smiled. Love is not measured. Asterisk, by how much it keeps. Asterisk. Love is measured. Asterisk, by how much it gives. Asterisk. At that moment, the mysterious stranger laughed. A cold, empty laugh. Asterisk, look at yourself. Asterisk. Asterisk, you're becoming weak. Asterisk. Soon, asterisk, you'll have nothing left. Asterisk. The traveler answered with complete peace. If one life finds hope. Asterisk. Every burden is worth carrying. Asterisk. Those words echoed through the silent village. One by one, the people began to cry, not because they had witnessed another miracle, but because they finally understood. The greatest miracle wasn't healing. It was sacrificial love. The stranger realized he was losing. The lies no longer had power. So he turned and disappeared into the shadows. But before leaving, he whispered one final warning. Asterisk, this is not over. Asterisk. The greatest sacrifice. Asterisk still lies ahead. Asterisk. The traveler quietly looked toward the distant hills. The road stretched into the horizon, and the traveler walked farther away. No one spoke. No one moved. The village stood in silence, watching him disappear into the morning light. Young Eli finally broke the silence. Asterisk, will we ever see him again? Asterisk. No one had an answer. Days passed, then weeks. The traveler never returned. At first, the villagers waited. Every sunrise, they looked toward the same road. Every sunset, they hoped to see his familiar silhouette. But the road remained empty. One evening, the elderly widow stood before the village. She smiled and said, Asterisk, perhaps we have been looking in the wrong direction. Asterisk. The people looked at her with confusion. She continued, Asterisk. He never wanted us to spend our lives waiting for him. Asterisk. Asterisk. He wanted us to become what he taught us to be. Asterisk. Those words changed everything. The merchant, who once lived only for wealth, built a home for widows and orphans. The shepherd, who once lived with guilt, spent his life protecting the weak. The little girl, whose life had been spared, grew up to care for the sick. And Eli, the young boy who had witnessed every miracle, became a man known for his compassion. Whenever someone carried a heavy burden, Eli would quietly help. Whenever someone felt forgotten, he would remind them, asterisk, you are never alone. Asterisk. Years passed. Children who had never met the traveler still heard his story, not as a legend, but as a way of life. They learned that true strength was found in kindness, true greatness was found in humility, and true love was willing to carry another person's burden. One spring morning, an old man asked Eli, tell me, asterisk, what was the greatest miracle you ever saw? Asterisk. Eli smiled. He looked across the village. Children were laughing. Neighbors were helping one another. No one ate alone. No one suffered alone. No one was forgotten. A tear rolled down his face. Then he answered, the greatest miracle, asterisk, wasn't that one man carried everyone's burden. Asterisk. The greatest miracle was that he taught ordinary people, asterisk, to carry each other's burdens. Asterisk. A gentle breeze moved through the valley. The church bell rang softly in the distance. The sun broke through the clouds. Its warm light covered the village. For just a moment, it felt as though the traveler was smiling once more, not because he had returned, but because his love was now living in every heart. Narrator, closing. Asterisk. Real miracles don't end when a journey is over. Asterisk. They continue. Every time someone chooses compassion over judgment, hope over fear, asterisk, and love over selfishness, asterisk. Carry someone's burden today, asterisk, because that's where miracles begin. Asterisk. The end.